adventures of armedgooner and Serberoth as they do 100%. This is gonna be a fun one. I gotta honestly admit, the last time I actually watched a hundo, I think, was back in 2016, 2017, when we did the 100% tournament. Those were some interesting races. So, obvious duh, 100%, what does that mean? You can't leave a single item on the planet to explode. Animals are optional. They're not items. They're rations. So, like every great run of Super Metroid starts, you have Sarah's Station. Well, simple. Get to Ridley, get wicked, get out. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, shoot at him a few hundred times and have a harder fight next time. A small fact here is you'll notice through the different styles so far, Serberoth stopped at the first couple doors where armedgooner didn't, so Armed gets slowed down a little, and Serberoth made up his time lapse from missing that one extra hit from Ridley to start with. And both have made it to the climb of Ceres. Armedgooner gets a 42-36. Serberoth takes a couple puffs for the 39-70. So both relatively even Ceres at about the same time. The real deciding factor will come about halfway through the run, or maybe about 25% of the way through, per se, because that's when we're going to see if people go one direction or the other. You never know. Some people have their own opinion about the best route to get everything, and that's not a bad thing. That way, two people can come together and decide what really is the best route. All jokes aside, the start of the game is very simple. We gotta get a few basic things. We gotta get Morph Ball to be able to get around things. We gotta get one package of missiles, at the very least. And then after that, the world is your oyster. But obviously I'd get bombs and then go around your way. So one of the key things to remember when it comes to a 100% run is it comes down to your movement and your knowledge of where everything is. Armedgooner gets a wonderful moonfall setup and gets it done. And Serberoth goes for the straight counting 6 and move to the left path. But yes, I can definitely say, as of someone who's done 100% runs for multiple different games, and way back in my childhood, it definitely comes down to your knowledge of where everything is. I think my first ever Super Metroid hundo that I did outside of streaming, goodness, I think I had to be just shy of sub 3 because I got so lost. But as you can see, both players now have their Morph Ball. Now they're going to pick up their missiles. And then after they pick up their missiles, again, this is where the world opens up to you. You could go to the right, get the extra missiles, if you want them. Or you can continue back up the elevator, head toward Bomb Chorizo, and then start taking out Brinstar. And that's my honest opinion of what the best choice would be at the start of the game. Get everything you need from Kuteria that's essential, and leave the non-essential to gather later on a second trip. So here we go, both players are now back on the service. Serberoth is just in the pirate room of the old Mother Brain tank. Armedgooner is currently inside the shaft of Kuteria. He started out on the outside, but now seems to be doing a very decent job of trying out the behemoth strategy, which is to use the inside and ledge grabbing to make your way up. And I don't know much about it, but my understanding is ledge grabbing works by angling down as you're about to touch the platform. You sort of just do this mini climb up it. I don't know. I don't understand it specifically, mainly because I never gotten it to work before. And we have our first little power check, shall we call it. This is Bomb Terizo. He's a very simple fella. If you happen to have 2 super missiles, he goes down to 2 super missiles. If you happen to have 10 missiles straight up, it just takes 10 missiles. But ideally what you want to do is force him back in the corner, farm off his pellets that he bombs out so you can get missiles, and just shoot him intermittently though, because if you rapidly shoot him, he unfortunately does have iframes and you will end up wasting ammunition. But armedgooner gets the job done very nicely, kept him in the corner the entire time. Oh, it takes 8 missiles. The more you know. Needless to say, both wonderful players. Cleaning up bomb trees are very nice and easy. armedgooner is now in Terminator, as Serberoth will be attempting his Alcatraz very shortly. And if I remember correctly, armedgooner got a decent 1-hit out. And Serberoth answers the same. And armedgooner choosing to plow through the space pirates. I would like to know it is about 0.5 to 1 second wholly faster if you actually just missile them. But bodying things is your decision. Especially if you got the energy. And Serberoth will body them as well. And we have armedgooner, who is opening up his first pack of super missiles and reserve tank. Right after this wonderful monk ball. And the pickup of this first super package. And again, the wonderful thing about our super missiles in this game is... What was I going to say? Oh yeah, they're 5 missiles apiece put into 1. And that's the joy about supers. And that's why you get so few of them and so many missiles. So as you can see here in this one room alone, we have our super missiles that was outside from the Mockwall Bridge. And then back here we have our reserve tank and 2 hidden missiles in the wall, which is why we need bombs. And a nice, easy 5 things of items. Plus, on the way out of here, originally on the way back through the Mockwall Bridge, there is a missile underneath it. And unfortunately, both players were trying to get a return mock ball to make life easier, but unfortunately, the timing ended too soon for them. But as you can see, armedgooner is moving on to our next subject, which is Big Pink. And we have a wonderful collection of items here. We have 2 missiles out in the open. We have charge beam. Beyond that power bomb door, we also have an energy tank. We have Spo's missiles, which we could do the Spo's get for. And if one of them does it, I will happily explain exactly what's going on, because I unfortunately don't remember. Oh, armedgooner is leaving Big Pink for later. Alright, he takes his charge and goes. Hook her up. Yay. Armedgooner is now inside Red Tower and chooses to go down. Both players are opting to save a couple things in Big Pink for later. Not a bad choice. Serberoth turns around to grab this pack of missiles that armedgooner did not earlier. But he will take Spazer. A very wonderful thing, especially when it comes to learning any percent. Spazer gives you extra damage, not a bad thing to have. 100%, we get it just because, hey, it's also damage. And we have Serberoth, who's going to take the plunge. So both players opting to go down to start their battles with Kraid. And armedgooner on a third first try gets it in. And is now inside Kraid's warehouse, where Serberoth is now picking up Spazer. Armedgooner getting a little happy like the 4th of July in mini Kraid there. And is running straight in without refilling. Kraid is coming to the dance, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, here comes Serberoth. Just a pixel shy. And here comes Kraid. The only real disadvantage for armedgooner here is he does not have high jumps, so this could hurt if he falls. Thankfully, he manages to keep the far right platform. Does ride the nail once. And down he goes. And Serberoth actually goes back and refills his supers on mini Kraid, so I think he's going for stand-up. Aria suit, and now will have heat protection. And begin his treks into Norfair. Looks like Kraid will come to the dance a second time. And Serberoth takes out Kraid himself now. That were in his nice iron protection suit. As armedgooner now begins his descent into the hottest place in the world. Well, at least in Zebas's case. So, fun fact about Norfair, it has multiple good things for us. It has the grappling beam, it has speed booster, it also has Ridley, and everyone's favorite dunkable Crocomire. Because hey, he's Zeberov's, excuse me, he's Zevis's favorite cookie. Oh yeah, and we also have high jump boots, for those distances you just couldn't make before. And armedgooner is going to start his cathedral run. So armedgooner is choosing to pick up the missiles in cathedral on his first path through. Not a bad choice. He does have the energy to take the dip into the lava, plus a reserve, even though he's currently being battered down, but manages to get out. Just has to get through this one ledge stretch. armedgooner getting past the final boss of Bubble Mountain. Looks like the boss never even shut off that Cack Attack. I think that's the first time Cack Attack gave no resistance. And he's now on the speedway down to go get his speed booster as Serberoth enters the cathedral himself. Can't forget about those missiles above the door. And now with Speed Booster, armedgooner has the ability of Shine Sparking, the wonderful extra addition of the Speed Booster. For the price of basically your life, you can break the sonic barrier and walls without having to run at them. And I didn't want to say anything, but yes, Serberoth did mention that he unfortunately might have had a plumber coming by this morning, so that might be where he is at the moment, as armedgooner gets the Wave Beam. armedgooner has now collected his Wave Beam and is now on his way down to actually dunk Crocomire. He's going to pick up his grapple beam while he's down there, and he's also going to get a package of missiles. 2 of them, actually. And Serberoth has returned. And armedgooner is now pushing back Crocomire. And there's one swipe. And a second swipe in defiance at the end. Oh, a third one. Crocomire does not want to go down. There's a fourth. And down he goes. Serberoth setting up, taking out the waiver, gets the jump. And Attack shoots as he makes the peak. It's too late for the Attack to defend its keep. And as one last act of resistance, Crocomire tries to attack you with itself. No, seriously, it's throwing bones at you. Just, that's all it's got left, though. Saving out the spark, gets the shot. And we'll get his first package of power bombs just as such. Serberoth on the way out remembered, oh crap, missiles. Hopefully he can escape the lava. Oh no! Serberoth, go in the door! No! Serberoth almost Crocomire himself on the way out of Speed Booster. That would have been very sour. A very rough 20-minute restart. And there we go. In 100% and in any category when it comes to Super Metroid, there's always room to catch up until Mother Brain. Don't ever ask again otherwise. Those mistakes can easily be made, even at Mother Brain. No offense to anyone that's ever done that. I share your pain. Armedgooner gets the wonderful connection. Unfortunately, drops a little bit at the end trying to get that last move over. Well, now we'll go for the backup strat. Just trying to get this speed booster. There we go. And, oof, almost got backup strat number 2 involving the speed booster. With your propulsion, you can pretty much, there we go, gets his missiles. So Serberoth now has Wave Beam, in addition to his Spazer in charge, and will now be descending down to Crocomire himself. Now, it looks like my co-commentator is fully awake this morning.
I was gonna ask you to get a pregnancy test yesterday.
So Armedgooner is now going to use Grapple Beam to escape Norfair. The option would be, if you're willing and risking to do it all, without Gravity Suit, you could do the Lava Dive, go get Screw Attack, do the worst room in the game without Space Jump, but grab Ice on your way. Which Serberoth has done. Is Serberoth going to be leaving here without Grapple Beam for now? That'd be interesting. As armedgooner is ascending out, and he'll begin his trek over to the wrecked ship for everyone's favorite floating gas bag fan tune. Because bless RNG. And it looks like Serberoth is ascending? I'm, I'm not sure if I'm seeing this correctly. I want to make sure I am. But it looks like Serberoth is now going to do... Oh, almost got it. Unfortunately met the pixel that's called door. But armedgooner is climbing up, and it looks like Serberoth might be following him in saving warfare for later. We will see if this pays off for Serberoth as a catch-up, and armedgooner having a little bit of trouble right now getting up the shaft here. These rippers are not being friendly, and they are protecting their territory very strongly. But he eventually does get it done. And Serberoth with the advantage here, having Ice Beam, can freeze him and keep going up. So Serberoth caught up quite quickly to armedgooner's location, getting the power bombs, and as his first power bombs will pick up the missiles as well. And I do think he intends to follow him into the wrecked ship. Not a bad choice though. This will give him gravity suits, so this will give him some easy maneuverability in the acid and lava. So there's the plus. And he can save pretty much all the major get-goes for later. Which, if I think he's going to do what I think he's going to do, he's going to save Crocomire until he's gotten plasma from Meridia, and then annihilate him. But we shall see. As Serberoth attempts the giant side upper room, which armedgooner has already done. And a nice cleanup as well for Serberoth. So both players have cleaned up Red Tower, respectively. Hmm. I chose a very bad time to come back. Ah. That is unfortunately going to be the hardest thing I've ever had to see, especially when commentating. The double KO to a boss, which is unfortunate because it counts as the boss's victory. But I gotta give Serberoth the credit here, you know? He's he's still running the race. He's starting from ground zero. Not to be rough about it, but he's gonna have a very uphill battle. But it's a good thing for the reset in some ways, because this gives him a chance to go and actually try to get the focus back in on the run. Because remember, no Super Metroid run is ever over until it's actually over and it says, see you next mission. And armedgooner, who managed to finish up that tune with the X Factor, no less, is at the top of Attic right now, is having some trouble getting this Shine Spark. Wanted to get the Atomics plus the Key Hunter. Unfortunately, only got Key Hunter. Meanwhile, using some deboosting, opened up the doors. Just trying to get deboost to get through the robot. Unfortunately, the robot... There we go. Robot was not cooperating at first. Gets it the second time. It's almost like a Zeb skip, from what I was told. It's either like a Zeb skip or a Kago. I'm not sure which one it was. But Serberoth is on the recovery. He has his Morph Ball and his missiles and is now on his way up the shaft, back towards Bomb Terizo. And again, for those that may have missed it the first time around, Bomb Terizo, very simple guy, takes a few shots, gives you bombs. We all have a nice night. In theory. And Serberoth getting those wonderful snipe pin shots.
I probably shouldn't have.
Alright, so where armedgooner is, that's called bowling. There's multiple different ways to get through bowling. There is going through the hookshot and just, Indiana Jonesing it. You could opt to do what is called the bowling spark, and it's a very short charge between the entrance to bowling and bowling itself. And if you can get it, you can spark across it, or you can do everyone's favorite thing to do, which is what armedgooner did, and it's called tank mode, where you say, fluff it, and jump into them and hope you survive. Because, yes, you could do that in real life and somehow manage to live too. And Serberoth made it across the Mockball Bridge nicely, has his super missiles. Meanwhile, armedgooner gets his wonderful froggy gravity suit, and now has the accessibility to move through water and acid. The only thing he can't do in acid is actually withstand damage, so there's the minus. So to help chat out here a little bit, because I noticed there was a question that was brought up, maybe this can shed a little bit of light for explanation. What is the health system like in Super Metroid? Well, as I already explained, every one of those boxes is 100 energy. That is essentially what the damage value of enemies can do to you. If they at ever some point take that value to 0, obvious duh, your game is over. You want to keep that above that value at all times. Some enemies can do very little damage, like 5 or 6. Other enemies can do great amounts of damage with one move. Great case, Mother Brain. She can do anywhere from 3 to 700, depending on what you have. But with reserve tanks, yes, they automatically work. They store up to 400 energy, or you can use it at any time you wish by switching it to manual and dumping it all. A lot of people like to use manual reserve tanks at 100% to assist them with getting stand-up glitch. That's what I was going for. So, energy can be reflected in multiple different ways. And we have Serberoth, who's picked up a pack of supers. Oh, that's right, he's already had those supers. But he's picked up a couple extra missiles and charge beam on his way out of Big Pink and his way to Crate. armedgooner has made it across Gauntlet, got the energy tank there, got the power bomb from Dragons, is now setting up to do the dance. Oh, he's going to stay stationary and get the 2 Gauntlet missiles. Serberoth is now back inside the Red Tower and will begin his descent down. Oh, no. Is he going for the power bombs, or is he going for vengeance? Yes, that is a true statement. Here's the thing I forgot to mention. Thank you for bringing that up, Bugs Can't Hide. If your reserves ever activate while you're being hit, prepare to take an extra hit. And that can usually result in you instantly dying. So, for example, if you just get hit for 200 and you had 200 reserves, yeah, night-night. Armedgooner is now back inside Brinstar, and now we'll begin his cleanup of Brinstar. We have the Metacoons that are holding a couple things as well. We have energy tanks that hide down here, and an extra pack of super missiles. Brinstar is so loaded. Serberoth with 71 in the tank, getting munched on. He has to be very careful getting out of here, but he does have his power bombs. Please do not touch a zero. That's the unfortunate thing about those worms. Those nasty little buggers can actually do, I believe, unsuited. It's somewhere between 60 to 75 damage. So they hurt. Yeah, Armedgooner, thanks to a high jump, he's right up that. But he does have his power bombs, and he is continuing his descent back down. So I think with power bombs, he's feeling a little bit more confident, and he's actually going to clean up a lot of Norfair on the first round. With Armedgooner, who has now cleaned up most of Green Brinstar, is now diving in to take on Big Pink. And was almost a block side from saying hello to the Zakora. No, Decora, excuse me. Right. Anyways, Armedgooner takes out the suicide hoppers, gets extra power bombs, got the first pack of missiles by Shine Spark. And here we go, he's setting it up. So you see that plant right there that Armedgooner stopped in front of with his cannon? That is the exact position just off-screen ever so such, but on-screen at the same time, for the super missile block. If you fire a super missile block at it, with the exact position he was with the screen and everything, you, in theory, will break it down and have to skip source spawn. How sad for you. You don't get to one-shot a plant. Although it saves a lot of time. So it's helpful. And Serberoth, speaking of him, back to him, we have him inside Crate's lair. 44 energy left. Has just broken down the Ghidorah, and is preparing to dance with Crate again. Hopefully, Serberoth, I was hoping he'd start off with Charge Beam to get a good stance going, but he's preparing his missiles. Hopefully he can get the job done here. We will see. Armedgooner, using the Wave Beam, gets up and in. So Serberoth has Crate up. Has to be very careful of that back spawning nail. It thankfully will drop energy, but We don't want to accidentally, you know, oops, like that, almost fall on the pit.
What?
Oh, no, 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 Serberoth, not like this, not like this, not like this. Come on, man, please. Please don't do this.
Anyone else? How about your alphabet?
Please don't do this.
There you go. Look at that. See, the forest's on fire, honey.
Oh, no! Oh, the nails got him right in the backside. There we go. Alright. Unfortunately, Serberoth, I think the frustrations might have finally just caught up with him. I'm not sure. But armedgooner is now back down and is beginning to start into Meridia. Armedgooner got a nice shine spark up on the first attempt. Thankfully, with most of Meridia, a lot of the stuff is nearby and put together, so it's just a couple quick pickups and you're on your way. But other than that, we have two little minor insignificant pests in the way. We have Dragon, obviously, which we can Star Fry or Shine Spark into if we so choose to. And we also have Botwoon, which is basically another easier version of Phantoon. Armedgooner has picked up his Crad Supers as Serberoth has made his way back to Bomb Terizo. Armedgooner uses the Shine Spark up to get his way up into the upper half of Meridia. And we're going to take a sip on the beach first before heading deep in. And Serberoth nicely cleans up once again Bomb Terizo. Very good job. armedgooner has finally arrived at the beach. Taking the green pirate, turns around and opens fire on them. And this just in, as you can see in chat on Speed Gaming 3, you can join Just Defend. For Rumble Mines and Kushmo. Yes. Rumble Mines and Kushimo will be happening on Speed Gaming 3, and Just Defend will be there for the action. Serberoth is up and going for his supers right now. armedgooner got the first Shine Spark off on Batoon, who is now giving him a little dance around the room, and there we go. With Batoon down, he can now pick up Batoon's energy tank if he wishes, or he's going to save. Here comes hopefully the full halfie. The Metroid unfortunately threw him off a little bit. That's alright though. Seems very confident in his ability to wall jump. I think intentionally has not turned Spazer back on since getting to Phantom. Has run from the entirety of the wreck ship all the way to this point without Spazer again. Serberoth picking up the missile bridge, and will now be descending back in to get Charge Beam, then Big Pink. armedgooner has now begun the fight with Dragon, and Dragon we have multiple ways to kill. As always, we can brute force the living daylights out of him. We can Shine Spark into him and get Blue Suit. Or if we're actually feeling that maniacal, we can attach ourselves to the wonderful little conduits that armedgooner has just revealed with Grapple Beam and charge straight into him with the energy, effectively short-circuiting him. Oof. armedgooner taking it straight to Dragon's face, not wasting any time whatsoever. Unfortunately, Dragon's still standing at the moment. armedgooner charging up. There it is. Armed has the blue suit. And will now have to space jump to get out. And thankfully can do the reverse halfie. And the nice thing about blue suit is, well, I think minus like acid and spikes, pretty much nothing can hurt you. Until you use the store and finally let loose that one Shine Spark. Also subnoted, you cannot use Speed Booster again until you've done so. So once you actually tap the button, I believe, the run button, it uses it, so then you can fully use Speed Booster to its best advantage again. I personally am not good with attempting to store Shine Sparks in like the blue suit method or spike suit method, so I'm not 100% versed on how it works. I do know it can cause serious damage. Thus said, imagine if you could somehow have a blue suit stored for Ridley. And for all those times Ridley has ever bodied you, finally turn around and body him for free. That would be a fun day. Armedgooner in the first sand pit here. Picks up the first pack of missiles and gets the power bombs. Sub question where I'm remembering, did he pick up the stuff at the top of the main hallway yet? I don't think so. No, that's going to be safe for the next trip by. Once again, Serberoth calculating that zero ever perfectly. Now begins his return trip back down to Create. And time to get your hype on if this guy is your favorite minor character in a Metroid series ever. Here comes Shacktool. So one of the good advantages to doing early powerbomb route, if this is your flavor, one thing you could do and have it off your list forever is clear Kraid's warehouse. And what I mean by that is there is a powerbomb locked regular missile on the far right side just before going to Kraid. Essentially, you grab that one and save yourself a trip. As Armedgooner is going to get the power of Bouncy, here's Spring Ball. And quite personally, I think Spring Ball is a very, very underplayed item. I know it's an awkward sounding item too, but its name describes what it does. You're a ball, have some spring.
She wants you.
Come here, mini gamer.
Getting what you want.
Now we can officially say hello to my co-commentator, my daughter, mini gamer. As we have Armedgooner, who is now going for Plasma, where Serberoth, who is back at Kraid. Gets the Plasma. Kraid has a rose from his wonderful den. Denies Serberoth all of his supers with that one hand. And we have him up and running. Serberoth just needs to be a little bit careful about last time. He got shot right in the back. Thankfully took took out that one claw that actually does it. Just needs to get a few more shots in and Kraid will be down. Oh, Kraid pushing back. There we go. Takes him out. Long story short, we've come to the conclusion that the plumber happened. But unfortunately, midway through his original run, he was... I forget exactly where Serberoth was, but he ended up taking a lot of damage out of nowhere and got crushed by something. Fantoon, that's what happened. Fantoon is what happened to him originally. So that was the unfortunate first reset, and then unfortunately he died to Kraid the second time. But he's doing a wonderful job altogether trying to make a recovery effort to do a run. Gotta give him support for that one. Meanwhile, Armed, who is now finishing up the rest of his trip through Meridia, picks up the super missiles at the speed booster and the regular missile. Yeah? Once again, to quote just about any Super Metroid runner ever, plus most mainly Serberoth, Super Metroid is a cruel mistress. She only gives out very few at a time. Shut up. armedgooner is now going down the second sand pit, and we'll pick up the reserve tank here. Effectively, I believe he has either one more, or this is his last. Nope, this is one more left after this one. No joke, I actually had to pull out a tracker just for myself. You tend to forget how many items end up going into 100% once you've 100%ed too many games. And that's when you know you need help. armedgooner is almost officially done with Meridia, or that was his last thing. And he'll be on his way to take on Norfair and Ridley. Right after the sand pit. Meanwhile, we got Serberoth, who has Varia, has the 3 energy tanks, just got his super missiles, his missiles and high jump, and is now heading into Cathedral. And Serberoth in Cathedral once again takes the dive for the missiles, saves a trip, and armedgooner is now doing the reverse of what was just mentioned before, with Serberoth carrying them this time on the way through with the early power bombs. Has to come back afterwards with the power bombs to make this one pickup. The good part is you're on the way to Kraid. It's okay. I mean, you're on your way to lower Norfair, it's okay. But if you're coming out of your way after that to do it, it is a little bit of pain in the butt, inconsistencies, drag on your speed run, whatever you want to call it. So, one of the things that armedgooner did not get was Ice Beam. He chose to forego it the first time through, so now he's going to pick that up. if just for the sole reason of can't fight Metroids without ice. As Serberoth picks up the missile on the outside before heading into Speed Booster this time and collects Speed Booster afterwards. Almost accidentally crocamired herself on the second attempt. And now, Armed is now beginning to reverse down to the Crocomire the original way to pick up this one missile that hides in the wall. And Serberoth is now on his way to wave. Yeah, armedgooner is really hustling right now. There we go, using the D-boost as a assist. Make up a little bit of time for the accident they'll stop in the lava to begin with. Serberoth now has Wave Beam, can now continue his descent either out of here, or he can go down to Crocomire. I think he's going to continue with going out, though. And with Power Bombs, he doesn't have to stick around and go through the tunnel. He can just use the Power Bombs to get down here. As armedgooner, again, with Space Jump, makes very short work of Lava Dive. And Serberoth indeed is going to hit Frog Speedway and peace out. He is heading for the wrecked ship. Meanwhile, armedgooner is taking the long way around to get one missile that will be inside Golden Chorizo's room. Bomb Chorizo's long-lost cousin, who also has a flush button that you need to activate first. That is, unless you want to use it as backdoor, which takes a lot of super missiles if you're not good. It can be quite bothersome with the gate glitches. Serberoth is going to collect Ice Beam on his way up, though. Have an easier time getting up the wall. Can't blame him. Those Rippers in Red Tower can be bothersome. And he already had to face him the first time for the early Power Bomb, so he's allowed to cheese him. Meanwhile, we have our ever-wonderful friend, Golden Chorizo. He can be quite the pain, unlike Bomb Chorizo. He can swipe across the room at a rapid succession. He can shed some of his body off to attack you. He has eye lasers. And he can also be pinned, and you can sit on his knee and blast him to death. Especially if you got plasma. So easy. Other option is if you use super missiles on him, or, you know, any other charge beam, you'll be fine. But if you use super missiles on him, he will take every super you throw at him, hold it for about roughly 2 seconds, and then chuck it back at you before he'll pick up another one. He doesn't always hit you with it, but when it does hit you, it's kind of painful. And Serberoth, here we go. Was trying to set up to get over the Cack Attack with the Shine Spark. Unfortunately, Shine Spark at the wall. armedgooner opting to do Fast Pillage, even though he now has Screw Attack with the Shine Spark. Worst room in the game, Space Jump Screw Attack. Easiest room of the game. And is going up to get Ridley's Heart Missiles first. Smart choice, prevents backtracking. Besides, we use the back door to get out of Norfair. At least most people do. Serberoth now enters the giant side hopper room inside Red Tower. We'll group them up to get one powerbomb shot. Armedgooner, using the Shine Sparks After Effects, take out the first two key hunters, screw attacks the last one. Bless you. Uses the power bomb to clear open the path and picks up the quote-unquote any percent power bombs of shame. Serberoth randomly blasts the crabs, lays the power bomb, and is setting up for hopefully an ocean fly. We'll just take a moat fly. Armedgooner is now on the pirates. Very easy to take care of them with plasma charge. Serberoth trying to get this short charge built up. Gets it done. And gets the second half of Ocean Fly. And now we have on your left side of the screen everyone's favorite Space Pelican Ridley. He can be handled a couple different ways. If you're feeling risque, you can X-Factor him like Fantoon or Dragon. You can straight up unload 30 super missiles straight into his body. Or you can do what Armedgooner is doing and charge up your cannon and blast away at him. Once Ridley reaches a certain HP, you can roll up into a ball and he will grab you like the Chozos, or he will continue to tank around the room. In this case, we pick him up and explode. Open the door, what's inside? Nothing but a tank of what we came to get. Serberoth is now on Fantoon. Looks like he's going to try the Doppler attempt. Needs to be careful, does have reserves, but he does need to be very careful. Fantoon does not do decent damage at all. There goes the Doppler, got a few in. Problem being, again, unsuited. Well, he is suited, but Fantoon can do a decent bodily of 35, I believe, if Aria equipped. I know he straight up does 60 or 50 unsuited, so... And the Flames did 30. But I know they do 15 or 10. Was hoping for the cleanup. Unfortunately, could not get the running gun started. This is the fun of Fantoon. He trolls everybody. Serberoth has 63 plus reserves. 43 plus reserves. And sinks one super in at 23 with reserves, effectively ending Fantoon and taking back his run. Let's go Serberoth. Armedgooner is now cleaning up the remaining part of Lower Norfair, aka Ridley's area. Gets this one nice energy tank, has a couple of extra minor items to pick up. And then it's just a cleanup of criteria, I believe, is left for him. Oops. You can't do that, Armed. You have to go up. There you go. Gotta bounce your way through. There you go. Serberoth, meanwhile, has made his way back up to the middle of Rex's ship, kicks up his super missiles. He's trying to farm up a little bit of extra energy as he's heading across the spiky room of death. Oh, here we go. One of them like this. Armedgooner on the 3 Musketeers. Picks up the Franker Z missiles. Serberoth with the excellent platforming through. And I think Serb here is gonna YOLO this jump. Yep, Serberoth is setting up for the YOLO. Sets up by taking off high jump. Resets the platform. Gets it done. Armedgooner as now picks up his final Kappa tank, reserve tank. And will now also receive his last missile, I believe, in Norfair. And all that's left is the cleanup of criteria. Meanwhile, Serberoth successfully got across. Now has 400 extra energy. Well, 400 energy total. Well, 500 energy total plus reserves. Excuse me. I keep forgetting Metroid system counts the 99 up. Which is quite shameful for me because I almost... Ooh! Serberoth, don't scare me like that. Oh, this is why we call it the spiky room of death, ladies and gentlemen. Those platforms that you saw took a significant chunk out of one of Serberoth's energy tanks. Unsuited, that could have possibly been death. Oh yeah. Very painful. Yes, indeed. Is that so? Mm-hmm. Anything else you want added? All right. You heard it here first, folks. I am so sorry. I don't know how to follow up that. How can you follow up that? Nonetheless, if you've been with us since the beginning, thank you very much for staying strong with us, folks. This is the wonders of 100%. The category that gives you extra. Yep, we have a second. We have something else we want to say. Armedgooner is now picking up the ever wonderful X-ray scope. The I'm doing it for the Hundo trophy of Hundos. Seriously, if someone ever made an achievement list for this, that would be what X-ray scope would end up being. You agree? Oh yes, X-Ray would get love in the randos, but no, if there was ever an actual achievements list for Super Metroid and someone did it for X-Ray Scope, I would honestly hope they put X-Ray Scope, doing it for the Hundo trophy. Serberoth, meanwhile, is on the outskirts of bowling. We do not know how much he has in reserve, but he is trying to farm up stuff right now. Trying to farm up some extra energy. I think he's going for Bowling Spark, or he's going to attempt to just, you know, plain old YOLO and damage boost across. We will see. Meanwhile, armedgooner is now inside Blue Brinstar, picks up the Statue of Power Bomb, and will be now heading off to the extra room. Because when you think it's done, it has extra. I have 100 in reserve, thank you. Oh, thank you, Serberoth. Shoutouts to people who can actually pay attention to the chat and their run at the same time. I totally cannot do that some days. I've tried. I fail. I'm holding the reason. But I love her anyway. And she loves gaming, so why not? Let's have her commentate a match. Meanwhile, armedgooner is inside the invisible bridge room. Yeah. And picks up his first missile. But wait, there's extra. Oof. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one. X-ray scope. The 100% trophy or the game-breaking 80% master? Serberoth picked up his wreck ship reserve, has 31 plus his reserves, and will now be getting his Dabbity suit. Which, honestly, if I had to choose between that and Varia, I'd choose gravity all day. I'd rather go get lost in the ocean, be able to breathe, than not be able to survive heat. Or in future canon games, ice. Ahmed charges up. I think, unfortunately, ran out of time to use that Shine Spark. Yes, if my child ever starts becoming world record runners for any games, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be quite thankful. Oh yeah, no man, I'm not hating on X-Ray. I trust me. When I first played Super Metroid, when it first came out, I got X-Ray. Merely because I was on Happen Chance, and I never forgot where it was again. because I used it to find everything for my first sub 3-hour run IGT. I don't even want to count how many hours that was in real time. I know, that's very painful to hear it took that long. I know. But armedgooner, I believe, just has the You Forgot Me missile, or also known as the last missile in the game. And almost mistook it for the save point. Not a bad decision with Mother Brain coming up, though. Not a bad decision whatsoever. Avoids, well, dare I say, 99% of the backtracking. And Serberoth trying to set up the wrap around here to be able to do the Shine Spark through Gauntlet. armedgooner here is now plowing through the remaining of the Space Pirates. I believe Serberoth got Magic Butter. Indeed he... Ooh. Nope. Didn't, so he's just gonna plow through it. Not a bad choice. And Serberoth is now on his return trip through Gauntlet, as armedgooner has now started his descent into Torian. And Ahmed here is shutting off Screw Attack in advance. Reason being, most people when they do the, Zebetite skip, usually hold the run button, and by doing so, you have a higher chance, almost 100% chance of activating Screw Attack when you jump. So, the idea is not to use that while you're trying to go through the Zebetite. You just want to just gently jump your way through as normal as possible. And Serberoth is now beginning his run through the back collection of Brinstar to get Big Pink and Big Green, and then we'll be heading down to Meridia, as Ahmed here picks up and cleans up Metroid Room 4. And now we'll see if he can skip what I'm holding. We got Baby Metroid incoming. And I'm right here doing the dance. Got latched at the last second, but does make it through the transition. Took an 18-point penalty to his life. Serberoth is now on the back half of picking up the Edekun's power bombs. as I can't tell if it's on purpose or if it's some type of after effect of being latched by the baby at the last second, but armedgooner is snailing. And I don't know if he intentionally just skipped that save, but I think he definitely wants to get rid of that small problem. Yep, he's taken the reset. And that was the first intentional safety save at Mother Brain that was ever made for a reason.
No. Stop it.
It is currently, at the time of this showing, 9:53 a.m. EDT. So that would be in like an hour and 5 minutes. But we have armedgooner, who is now setting up for the fight against Mother Brain. Yes, we've come to the end.
Yes.
We gotta take out the mama.
There it is.
It's a dinosaur, not a chicken.
You know.
The actual Metroid one looks like a chicken. This one's a brain, it's a dinosaur. So Mother Brain has a few sets of different attacks. Unfortunately, all got named after food items, but it's the best way to explain it. The red thing, the red dots, was ketchups. This is Mother Brain's murder beam, or rainbow beam, depending on how you want to see it. She also has the nose lasers, which are french fries, the little mouth bombs, hamburgers, and then the blue things, obviously, onion rings. And Ahmed here is now taking the down, will not be doing this stand-up glitch. We'll be left with 69 plus his reserves as the cutscene begins.
That's basically how I feel every day, Mother Brain. Like,
So armedgooner here now unfortunately has to take the knee and face the pain of the left side look, as Mother Brain freely bags on the baby Metroid until it goes down. And we'll now get the accessibility of the murder beam in the Samus cannon and can make her taste the Skittles. And as you can see, there is finally some onion rings. As Serberoth picks up the energy tank and waterway, Mother Brain fighting back with some burgers and fries, or onion rings, excuse me. One last attempt to take you out. Sorry, Mother Brain. Thanks for playing. And now, the one last question I got, evolving this, especially around Metroid. Does the planet come with this, or did Samus bring this without telling us? Because every time she kills the final boss, she has to set a bomb. And thanks to the wonders of Super Metroid hacks, the amount of time you have to escape and what the escape is like can differ, but thanks to Vanilla, we know it's a quick jaunt through the back half of what was gonna be Newtorian, but oops, Samus wrecked it. But yes, as far as saving goes, safety saves in this in any category that you may or may not see some difficulties in is encouraged. 100% is one of them. 80% is definitely encouraged, especially even if you're a pro. It is recommended to save sometimes. Getting that nice shine spark up. Serberoth is now making his way back towards Meridia, and we'll begin that fighting contest with Dragon. And armedgooner, again, this is an optional thing. This is not something required in Hundo, but he's choosing to pack up the stakes for another mission. He let the animals escape. And Ahmed hauling some tail, trying to get to the ship. Does so. GG clocks in with an SRL of 138.14 for this run. And we now bring you Serberoth, who is collecting an energy tank. And I'm hoping my math is as good as this tracker says it is, but I do believe we have a hundo. But you never know. Incoming 99% because why not? Troll. And just to bring you guys up to date, we have Serberoth versus Travatox coming up on Speed Gaming 4, I believe, at noontime. That's going to be in 2 hours. We'll also have Kip versus Hillborn at 3 p.m. on Speed Gaming 3. Also at the same time, we'll have Pharaoh versus Blue Plasma Spark on Speed Gaming 4. At 5, we got Poplars versus Helio Dixie. And then at 9, we got Fruit Bat Salad versus J-Ro. And for the 5, it will be on Speed Gaming 2, and for the 9 o'clock, it will be on Speed Gaming 1 right here. So we get all your Super Metroid action going on today. Also, quick reminder, if you have not tuned in as well, Just Defend is with Rumble Knives and Kushumo on Speed Gaming 3, I believe it was. And we are still awaiting that 100% completion. And I actually just took a quick look over. They just actually finished up. That race was a dab. So, yay me. Would have been fun to have been part of that one, but hey, we got 100%. 100%'s not that bad. I mean, a run's a run, right? But yes, if also this floats your boat, we have On Speed Gaming to recommend to any percent tournament. That's always fun. And there you have it from man himself. Key Sanity will be here in 1 hour, while we have Serberoth taking on the Sea Snake Batwu. Trying to get the snipe here. And I think you finally got enough in on that one, Matt. Oh, one more. There we go. Serberoth takes him out. And there's the hundo completion proof. GG to armedgooner for the 100%. If you got 99%, it would basically be either restart and go back through all the way again like Serb did, or that would be, I believe, take a forfeit or DNF. Where he saved up Mother Brain, that would have been the unfortunate of a DNF. Or restart, whichever one they wanted. Also, explanation of the outfit for helping of understanding. The outfit is based on time, not your percentage. The faster you complete it, the more Samus shows. The slower you complete it, the less Samus shows. Case in point, Metroid Samus's Return. If you can do it in 3 hours, yeah, you can get stuff done. You can see different things at the end, but otherwise, yeah, no. You're not going to see Samus's bikini. You're going to see a suit. And possibly a thumbs up. And now for Serberoth, we have Dragon. Again, Dragon, multiple ways to take out. We do not have grapple beams, so we cannot deep fry him. However, we do have plenty of missiles, a couple supers. We do have X-Factoring abilities, and we can also Shine Spark straight into Dragon for that heavily bodily contact for each other. Plus, get the chance of a blue suit. Serberoth open up a whole can of straight missile on him. And Serberoth with the down on Dragon. Good job. So once again, with the defeat of Dragon, we get ourselves the ability of Space Jump. Space Jump, a wonderful tool. This helps us to infinitely jump in the air so long as we remember to tap the button.
What is the lore for?
It's kind of undetermined, and it's on a fine line of either they bury their mother/father, or they consume their mother/father to become the new one. Which, honestly, it doesn't matter, because, again, Zebes dies in the end, so it could really go anywhere. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag it onto a darker descent than it should have gone, but... I mean, you gotta think about it. Video games like this don't really give us a lot of story, and when they mess it up, so... It's really up to interpretation. But if you want to get technical, yeah, everyone but Samus dies.
Good.
And as a...
Ha, the joke's on you. No.
An interesting statistic, most veto category has been 100% by 64 votes, and the most played category is currently Miniboss RTA with 27, with 100% getting 16 of them. I don't know if that adds to today being, 17 of them, but Serberoth here going for the glitched 20% ice clip. This is a very difficult clip to set up, but when you get it, it's definitely a payoff. Especially if you're trying to do special tricks. But the idea is that, I don't know what they're called specifically, so I'm going to call it jelly worm. So, those jelly worms, you're trying to freeze it at a very specific spot when you're up on the platform, so that way you can stand up on it, and just like using the Metroid, to skip the speed blocks if you don't have speed booster coming into Batwoon. You can force yourself to basically up A through things. However, if, said life form doesn't cooperate the right way, you're not getting it done. That's the trade-off. And the sad part is waiting for this worm every single time to unfreeze and refreeze. It does become tiresome. Oh, looks like he got the start of it, but jelly worm here just not cooperating. Once again, Serberoth getting ever so close to it, but this is why ice clipping is very difficult some days. Oh, no. That almost looked like it was going to be it. Then again, I think that happens just about every speedrun ever. And again, you can see Serberoth is almost all the way through. It's just the worm is not in the right position for him to make this clip. It's just about it getting right there, and then as you could saw the little hover dance earlier, a few more pixels up and he would have been in. I think